Robert Ryan died painfully when his wife revealed his secret. Robert Ryan was born Robert Bushnell Ryan on November 11, 1909, in Chicago, Illinois. He grew up in a family of Irish Catholic descent, with his father being a construction executive and his mother a schoolteacher. This upbringing fostered in him a strong work ethic and moral values. Ryan attended prestigious schools in Chicago, eventually graduating from Dartmouth College in 1932, where he excelled in academics as well as athletics, particularly boxing and football. His interest in acting was sparked during his college years, though he initially pursued other careers before fully committing to the craft. Ryan's early years were marked by the Great Depression, which influenced his political and social views, shaping the socially conscious man he would become. During World War II, Ryan enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, serving with distinction in a training role. He was stationed in California, where he worked as a drill sergeant. This experience not only imbued him with discipline but also allowed him to witness the human cost of war firsthand, something that would later influence his choice of film roles. The war deepened his empathy for others and solidified his stance against violence and injustice. These convictions played a significant role in his post-war career, as he sought roles that reflected the social issues he cared deeply about. After the war, Ryan returned to acting, and his career quickly gained traction. His breakthrough came with the 1947 film Crossfire, where he portrayed a vicious anti-Semitic murderer. The role earned him critical acclaim and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Ryan became known for his intense portrayals of complex, often troubled characters. He was particularly adept at playing villains or morally ambiguous figures, often delving into the darker sides of human nature. Despite his talent for playing these roles, Ryan was known in real life as a gentle and kind-hearted man, dedicated to social causes and justice. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Ryan built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most versatile actors. He starred in films such as The Setup, 1949, where he played an aging boxer, and On Dangerous Ground, 1951, as a hardened police officer. Both roles showcased his ability to convey emotional depth and inner conflict. His performance in The Setup was particularly lauded for its realism and raw intensity, as Ryan drew from his own experiences as a college boxer. Another standout performance came in Bad Day at Black Rock, 1955, where he played a prejudiced small-town bully. Ryan's characters often explored themes of racism, violence, and societal corruption, reflecting his deep concerns about these issues. Off-screen, Ryan was a passionate advocate for civil rights and social justice. He used his fame to support progressive causes, particularly those related to racial equality and workers' rights. Ryan was a strong opponent of McCarthyism and the Hollywood blacklist, a stance that put him at odds with many in the industry during the height of the Red Scare. Despite this, he continued to find work, largely due to his undeniable talent and the respect he commanded among his peers. His activism extended beyond political causes. He was also involved in organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union and the United Nations Association. As Ryan aged, he transitioned from leading man roles to more supporting and character-driven parts. He continued to deliver powerful performances in films like The Professionals, 1966, The Dirty Dozen, 1967, and The Wild Bunch, 1969. These films showcased his ability to bring gravitas and complexity to any role, no matter the size. However, Ryan's later years were marked by personal struggles, including the death of his wife Jessica in 1972 and his own battle with lung cancer. Despite his illness, Ryan continued to work, delivering one of his final and most poignant performances in The Iceman Cometh, 1973, in which he played a world-weary ex-cop. Robert Ryan's death was a deeply painful experience, both physically and emotionally. His wife revealed a secret that highlighted the tragic nature of his passing. Robert Ryan had been a heavy smoker for much of his life. Smoking, a habit that took years to show its devastating effects, slowly took a toll on Ryan's health. In 1970, he was diagnosed with inoperable cancer of the lymph glands, a condition exacerbated by his smoking habit. This grim diagnosis marked the beginning of the end for Ryan, who, despite knowing the severity of his illness, chose to continue working. He once reflected on his life, stating, "I've had a good shot at life," signaling his acceptance of his fate, even as cancer ravaged his body. Even in his final years, Ryan displayed remarkable strength, continuing to act in significant roles. His last films included The Man Without a Country, 1973, a TV movie directed by Delbert Mann, The Outfit, 1973, where he acted alongside Robert Duvall, Executive Action, 1973, which featured the iconic Burt Lancaster and was scripted by Dalton Trumbo, and The Iceman Cometh, 1973, where he starred with Lee Marvin under the direction of John Frankenheimer. These roles were a testament to Ryan's determination to keep going despite his deteriorating health, as he channeled his remaining energy into his craft, unwilling to let his illness define him. Robert Ryan's personal life was also marked by love, family, and loss. On March 11, 1939, he married Jessica Cadwallader, a union that lasted for over 3 decades. The couple had 3 children together: Timothy, born in 1946, Cheney, born in 1948, and Lisa, born in 1951. Each of their children pursued their own paths, with Cheney, for instance, becoming a research fellow at Oxford University and later a professor of philosophy and law at the University of Oregon. The Ryans lived in the historic Dakota Building in Manhattan, a home that later gained fame when it was sublet to John Lennon and Yoko Ono. It was a place where they shared their life, raising their children and building a family legacy that would outlive both of them. Tragedy struck the Ryan family in 1972 when Jessica died of cancer. Her death was a severe blow to Robert, who had been by her side throughout their years together. Only a year later, in 1973, Robert Ryan succumbed to lung cancer at the age of 63. His passing, in New York City, marked the end of a distinguished career and a life filled with personal triumphs and heartaches. His slow demise from smoking-related illness was a stark reminder of the dangers of the habit, something that had taken his life painfully, piece by piece. Ryan's final reflections on life, made shortly before his death, underscored the gravity of his situation. Knowing that his illness was terminal, he faced his final days with a somber recognition of the life he had lived. He acknowledged that his death was a tragedy not only for himself but for his family, who had already been through so much with the loss of his wife. The slow, painful way that smoking had taken his life was something he could not have foreseen in his earlier years, but by the time the diagnosis came, it was too late to reverse the damage. In his final days, Ryan likely understood the impact his death would have on his loved ones, yet his acceptance of his fate was a testament to his strength of character. The world said goodbye to Robert Ryan, a man who left an indelible mark on film and stage. His death was a reminder of the fragility of life and the dangers of habits like smoking, which can slowly and painfully claim even the most vibrant individuals. His family, especially his children, carried on his legacy, but the loss of both parents within such a short span of time undoubtedly left a void in their lives. The act of smoking is what kills us in a slow, painful way. When he found out, it was too late, he said shortly before he died. From now on, it will be impossible to meet such a person again. Goodbye, Robert Ryan. His own death was a tragedy for his family, which he probably wouldn't have known.